This is Project Morality, interview 3. This is my friend Mark Mormon, or Uncle Marcus as I call him. And if you could tell us your religious background or occupational background, something about yourself.
Yeah, I've been with data management here for 23 years, no, 21 years. Baptist, saved when I was 26 years old. I'm 53 now. Attend church weekly. Christ is very important in my life.
So essentially this will be the interview from the Baptist perspective.
It will. And it's not to say I take all the Baptist traditional positions, but for the most part, yes.
Awesome. Okay. So in your view, what is morality?
Doing what's right. The Bible says what's right and good. I think that's a good description of morality. In fact, we included that in our policy in the handbook at the company. That's what we expect of our people when they deal with others in the office or customers.
So what do you think of the golden rule?
I think it's appropriate. It's my expectation of others toward me, and I try to do the same. Just having respect for the other people, and you always want someone to have your emotions, your feelings in mind when they do something to you or with you, and things like that. So I believe in the golden rule.
So generally you abide by it, you'd say? Yes. So to kind of take things to a recent political perspective, what do you think about the George Zimmerman versus Trayvon Martin case? Like, as far as should he have shot the kid, should he have not? What's your opinion?
Well, I think there's still information coming out. We all base our thoughts and our opinions on what we read or hear, and such as that. I'm on the internet a lot, and I see the news come in. I tend to want to think that Zimmerman was trying to defend himself.
Right.
Even the more recent stuff where it shows now, the medical records showing he got sewed up and he had a broken nose and 2 black eyes and things like that. I'll honestly say I felt that way in the beginning, but after this information came out, I kind of feel like it just supports the theory of defending himself.
And in that case, it's all right for him to shoot someone if he has something.
I think if his life's in danger and that's what he has a gun to defend himself. If he feels like his life is in danger, I can't see any other way to look at it.
Fair enough. All right, so now I'm going to go over the 4 questions that Kant proposed in the categorical imperative.
Okay.
So contemplating suicide because you're tired of life, or any suicide in general, wrong or right morally?
Wrong.
Wrong. And why is that?
I think God gives us life for a reason. Even though life is difficult, and you think of the book of Job and all the things he went through, and we go through our own trials, we all do every day. Some people have it better than others, but none of it warrants taking that life that was given to you when you stop to think about how big it is, how important it is. I can never agree with someone, the doctor, it was the doctor that helped with the suicides for so long, Kevorkian. I get where he's coming from, helping those people, and they don't want to live any longer, and they're hurting, and they've probably come to the end of any normal life.
Right.
But I think that's for God to do. I don't think it's for us to do. I even struggle with the death penalty. I don't think suicide's right.
How about making a false promise to secure a loan for a car or anything?
No. I mean, false promises, period.
Right.
No. I mean, it's just not the way I believe. I wouldn't agree with it, and I'd be against it.
How about having a special talent but not using it? Either like Michael Jordan not playing basketball even though millions of people will be entertained, or a doctor who could save lives but doesn't use the talent, would rather, do mission work or something.
Sure. That's kind of iffy for me.
Right.
I probably struggle with that kind of thing. I love kids, but I don't work with kids.
Right.
I can have time probably to work with them in church, but I don't do it because I use it for my own time. There again, you know, we're given gifts, and you know, some of us never have those gifts and never find them, you know, but I guess from your perspective, I have this gift and I know it, but I don't use it. That's difficult. I think it's difficult. I think it's just something every individual has to deal with, you know, as the circumstances in their life. Could be a lot of other pressures that kept Michael Jordan from playing basketball that didn't exist. You know, had his father been killed before he got so involved, before he came out of North Carolina and did the things he did, you know, it's conceivable he might not have gone into basketball. I don't know.
Right.
You know, who knows? The circumstances worked, and he was able to give us that gift. And I still, now you're too young to have watched him, but,
Yeah.
but you know, I still see him play. So, you know, it could, either way, I guess it could go.
In a similar vein, what about not donating to charity when you have the time or money?
Yeah, you're stepping on my toes. You know. As I was talking about with church, you know, your time is just as important as money, and you can give to people. And you know, whether it's the community, whether it's your church, whether it's just you know, one of the guys standing on the street corner that I struggle driving by them,
Right.
you know, asking for food or money or work. You know, I kind of justify it and say I'm too busy to stop and talk to him. I'm too big a hurry, things like that. You know, I do look up to those people who do take their time and volunteer and do things for charities and give their money to charities in a big way. We've done it at the company forever, you know, and it's something that's important. And you know, for someone not to do that, I'd be pretty pressed not to judge that person.
Right. You wouldn't necessarily say it's wrong.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's wrong. There's those with ample money and ample time, you know, when you can't really look at anyone and say they're wasting their time. It's their
Yeah.
life, you know, and it could very well be what they're doing right now might turn into something important for someone else. Might be hard. I'm not sure how to answer that question. I don't think it's wrong not to use that gift. I think it's something you really need to think about.
So you'd say essentially you have these set of beliefs that dictate what you think about these different questions, but you're not going to push them upon anyone else.
And I might, if someone asked me for my opinion, as you're doing,
Right.
I'm happy to give that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would, no, that's not something I would do.
Now, to take it back to the question of morality, do you think that modern laws here in the United States establish morality, or the morality that we have, that you believe we have, or whatever you believe about morality, does that establish the laws that we have?
Well, I think the fathers, and you know, used morality to establish the laws. I think that's what they meant for the country when they started it. And again, you're asking about the chicken or the egg. I have to believe that morality came first, obviously,
Right.
prior to the laws. And you know, the laws were all just go all the way back into the Bible, and they established some of those morals, and you know, even in the Old Testament. So some of that, most of that, still applies today. But I think that most likely when we look back on it, I could never agree. I think there's arguments in both ways. I don't think I could ever agree that laws establish morality.
Right. That there was some kind of inherent moral belief before all that
That's
took
right.
place.
That's right.
I think a common argument for atheists is they say that there's really nothing keeping me from killing you right now. It's just because of the laws. They just say the laws keep me from killing you because it's of the consequences.
Right.
But I think generally the Christian view is that there was some kind of inherent moral belief that keeps us from doing the things we
Well,
want.
but wouldn't you agree that there are a lot of highly moral people out there? And when I say moral, I'm talking about earthly morals.
Mhm.
There are a lot of people that do a lot of good that don't follow Christian beliefs,
Right.
that you know, would not want to kill you because of their morality, even though they don't know Christ.
It's not faith inspired, right?
Right. So, yeah, there's that in between. I don't know how else to look at it.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And this is Project Morality.